Hello and welcome to another episode of Vanilla City Skylines, where we are building the city of Minoqua Bay. Our last episode, we worked on building out our financial district as well as introducing some of our skyscrapers. And we have just hit 26,000 in population, which unlocks another tile, ship connections, a university campus area, universal education, university paths, harbors, cargo harbors, eco water treatment plants, eco advanced inland water treatment plant, and the American football stadium. So what I want to focus on today is really honing in on what the skyline is going to look like. And even though over here it's truly an impressive skyline already, I think I want to have a more focused skyline. And one thing that I have begun to notice a little bit is traffic's not necessarily horrible right now in any particular place, but one thing that some American cities are doing is kind of ripping out this highway infrastructure that they have, because as you can see, this highway is really setting a divide in our city, in our downtown, and we really don't want to have that. We want everything to be as interconnected as possible. Which, as you can see, we also don't really have that great of traffic anyways. So we can find ways to fix that. And I think what we'll end up doing with that is we'll end up ripping this out and really focusing on train infrastructure. So the first thing that I want to do, now that I have it unlocked, is I personally am a huge football fan, especially college football. And I want to kind of have a nod to that spirit in this city that we're building. So we're going to place down our American football stadium, which I'm not entirely certain it's a good idea to have it right there on a collector road. So let's see. We can figure out where this goes. Approximately right there. And now what I'm going to do, now that we've built that kind of a frame, so we're going to come through and delete these roads, and we're going to flip the stadium. Let's also pause this so that it's not recognizing it as the Minoqua Bay, but rather the Crittenden Institute of Music football stadium. Alright, so I'm going to follow this stadium as closely as I can. Our path, and something is not right here. Not sure what that's all about. Actually, you know what? I think I do. Let's come off of road guidelines and try this again. Let's come with our streets with grass. I think will fit here tremendously. Nope, that wasn't up. Aha! That might be the problem. So let's get rid of this street. And we're going to draw this in again, just to be safe. Make sure that we have everything in the correct spot. Delete those roads again. And flip the orientation of the football stadium. That should, in theory, fix the problem. And it appears that it will fix it. Sweet. So now we have the scoreboard facing out towards this river, and I think we can also look at bringing this in a little bit more so that it's right up against this river. Now, of course, the game mechanics with the water are going to be incredibly finicky, and we're probably going to flood the stadium. That's okay. We will be fine for a little bit. Let's speed this up a little bit too. So we're going to come here and we're going to expand out the campus so that it includes this football stadium. And that will allow it to be part of this university as well. They're really pink seats. Like, it's not even October in this game. Like, I don't understand why these are pink, but okay. There we go. That's a little bit better. I wonder, I don't think we've changed what our sports logo is for this campus. Let's take a look. Yep. That's our problem. So let's get this to be about that color. And now that's exactly what we want, other than all this traffic. We can fix that. We can certainly fix that. Let's come here now. We're going to come out about there. Use our road guideline to curve in. We want to make sure that we have a nice, large parking lot, which would be realistic for a football stadium for any university. Oh, come on. Of course it wants to fracture the zoning. Why would it not? Let's try this again. We can come here and probably also have more parking right here. And then we'll connect this in. I think that was the point we had this at. Something like that. Before we have that nice little curve. I don't know why that keeps doing that. Oh well, I guess we're just not going to do much with that. Like, literally. Every time it does that. And actually, you know what? I wonder if it's because this road isn't connecting. I think that might be what's causing this. Oh well. Anyway, we're going to come in and paint out a district. Do the absolutely most painful thing that a Vanilla City Skyline player gets to do in terms of building the parking lots, which is the organic and local produce specialization, and then waiting 10 hours for us to get parking lots. So we'll just note that that's where those are going to be. We're not going to focus too heavily on that right now. So let's come in, make sure we have our water pipes. cool. We can also think about potentially, yeah. So we have enough academic works, we have enough students, and let's see what happens if we add universal education. So that gets us pretty close to leveling this up. So what we're gonna do is I think can probably just place a fountain somewhere over here, and I'm thinking this could be where we place it. It's just a super temporary fountain to help get us up to level 5. And let's also take a look and see how much of this is coming from varsity sports. So that's not a ton that comes from the varsity sports. Okay. Well then, I guess worst case scenario, we can just pop in another dormitory. We're getting there. We are getting there, we are getting there. And we're gonna get there. This is gonna be a level 5 at university. If it kills me. About academic statue. Is that gonna... Alright, so now we're just gonna have to wait for that to level up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wait for this university to hit level 5, and as soon as that happens, we will be right back. Alright, so our College of Liberal Arts has finally hit level 5. And we had to do a little bit of cheating to get that in building out all of this high-density residential that is going to go away. Because now that we have this at level 5, it doesn't really matter. Everything is unlocked for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clear all of this out. I'm also going to, this may end up being controversial, but I'm going to get rid of this metro line. We're going to get rid of this train station. We're going to get rid of this highway. We're going to get rid of half of these train lines, and then we will be right back. Alright, so now we've gotten that highway ripped out. And now what we're going to do... So I think we're also going to get rid of this street. We're going to get rid of Smithson Street. And I think that that stuff will clear it out as we go. Let's make sure that we are lining up to this road guideline. And what we're going to do is we are going to have this, I think, let's do, where's the bicycle tracks one? Does it have one? So there should be, yeah, there is one. So we're going to do a 6-lane with bicycle lanes and trees. And that will become this street. And let's go ahead and extend it out a little bit. Just so that we know we're going to build out in that direction later. Let's also de-zone our little cheat residential. And we also want to come in and let's just finish out the university. So what we're going to do is we're going to come all the way down here for our School of Economics. Which I think would fit wonderfully right about here. It's a nice modern looking building. As you approach the university. So now we're going to come in and we're going to build out our grid. And this grid's going to be a little bit wonky at first. So we're going to do our normal here, normal here. And then Oh wait, no, that's not where it's normal. Whoopsie! So we're just gonna do one normal block. And then let's place in the Old Market Street station. I really, really enjoy this asset. And we will find a way to make the 4 train lines make sense. We will make it make sense, hopefully. So let's also come behind it. And then we'll come over here. So we're still... It's not completely resolving the issue that we're going to have a little bit of a divide, but what it is going to do is it's going to create, you know, in reality, this would create less pollution because a lot of trains are steam powered or coal powered, but they're not powered by gasoline, and they don't create this mass congestion because instead of transporting 1 to about 4 or 5 people per vehicle, a train is going to transport, I believe, in this game we can get up to about 300 per, and we can allow 1,200 people in just this one station. And we're really trying to prioritize public transit. We do not want to encourage cars. Which, as you can see, this is a tourist. This is an exchange student. This is a tourist. That's a resident. That's a resident. We have a lot of residents. A lot of residents. Well, that's something we can definitely fix, and that can be fixed with train infrastructure. So let's continue building out this grid a little bit more. I think that may be the extent that we're going to do it. And here we are going to connect it over into our stadium. Not everything has to be a perfect grid. It doesn't always have to be a perfect grid. I know that's blasphemy here in America, but it does not have to be a perfect grid every time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out, you know, just to kind of mark where they're going to be. We're going to bring out these train lines, and of course it wants to be finicky. It always wants to be finicky. It's just a fact of how this game operates, I guess. Is that? Yes, that's a different terrain height. Let's smooth that out. We don't want that. I think we will come off of road guidelines. Let's check and make sure this is all at the same terrain height too. We're just going to come up to the road. And we're going to mirror that on this side. So that's just a base marker for how we're going to operate with this. And I think we might even be able to squeeze a path through here. That would be really nice if we could. And yes, we can. We can. So let's go ahead and do that. So, what we're thinking about here. People are coming either from our suburbs into this hub. They're coming from another city into this hub. And this hub needs to connect to different times or different types of transit that our citizens can use. So the first, probably most obvious one that people need to be able to connect to is Metro. I think what I'm thinking here is we're going to have just 2 lines intersecting here. Yes. Yes, that's how we're going to do that. But actually, hang on. Just while we're using some of these content creator assets, why don't we Because we don't want the bypass. We want dual island in this situation. It's not going to line up quite as nicely as I hoped, but... You know, it'll add another layer of depth within our public transit, and this will allow us to have two different lines, whereas the bypass is just going to have something bypass over this. Which I think would be really stupid, because this would be, you know, a really key place for our metro system to be stopping. Speaking of, let's go ahead and amend some of this. You know what we do need to do? We need to get rid of that inner city bus station. It's not really serving us any purpose right now, I don't think. I think we can also get rid of this station. So part of what I'm thinking about here is that tourists that are coming into the city are going to want to be able to get to hotspot destinations. So what we can do is we can come in and say that we're going to hook into the Metro Plaza, which I think I may also end up moving that. So let's hold off on connecting in all of that. So now let's get up to this terrain height. I think that should be level with where our trains were, or close to it. And let's check. No, that needs to go up just a little bit. There we go, that's level. So now we're going to bring our train lines across to all connect over here into this gradient. Let's just go ahead and make this a nice size. Alright, so now let's think about where people are going to need to get to from this train station. People are going to need to get to our agriculture area. People are going to need to get to our airport. So, let's come into our airport areas. And we're going to place down the airport train station. Have this hook up right as close as we can get it to that concourse hub. So now what we want to do is we want to make this be as smooth of a curve as possible. I think that's going to be about where we're able to get it. Let's get to where we have a little bit more control over what the height is. That should work just fine. So for this connection, let's go ahead and get rid of these. We can always place those back in. It'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. So we want to have a passenger train station. And let's see what we have available. What if we do the ground platform station? It's a nice modern looking station. We can place that in right there. And we'll come in. Just go under this highway, which is going to become our main highway access point. I think probably for the remainder of the build, but we'll see what I end up feeling like. So this line is now coming across, and we want to have a point here. Is approximately where it's going to land, and we want to slope down as smoothly as we can into this train station. And now the train can come right across the road. Get rid of these trees. Those trees are going to annoy me. I don't think we need quite this much room. So we're going to scale this back a little bit, just to kind of figure out what we're doing. And once again, we're going to come across the road. And now we want to find a way to link this up. And it's going to link up on land. We don't want to spend too much money on bridges. That would be completely unrealistic for there to be a lot of money spent on train bridges. I think that's probably the best we're going to do with that. Let's hook you in over here. And now let's find our road guideline. That is awful. That is awful. As you can see, it isn't quite gonna let us do much other than just hook in with that. Which I wonder, what if we come there, come out just a tiny bit more. We're gonna come there. And now let's see if we get a nice smooth curve. We will. So what we're gonna do is we're going to have the bridge start on this side. So let's come here, back to where we were going to have this. And now come hit this road guideline, and it just smooths it out. That is a nice, smooth connection. And now we're going to place in a train line that comes to the old Market Street station. So that'll be one of our train lines. Another line we want to think about is getting into these suburbs. So we're going to place one train station, thinking probably over here by Harvey Street. And this one, I think, will be an elevated train station. So we can let this be that train station, although we probably need to move it a little bit more this way. Ugh. That is disgusting grading right there. Absolutely disgusting. Alright. So this line will come here. I think that can probably be enough to service this area. This will be enough to service this area. And we're going to have one over here in Riverside. And I think here, what if we go with a historical train station? It's lined up right here. We can also probably get rid of all this disgusting stuff too. Alright. So now we're going to come to our train lines. Connect this across the way. Maybe not like that. Not quite like that. So now let's figure out where this train line needs to hook in at. I think, let's come here. We're gonna hook in like this. And now let's just kind of map this out. How we're going to connect that. So we can keep that straight. And then have a nice curve into the station. Very nice. So now what we want to do is we're going to find a launching point for this. Or really just a landing point for this train. Let's come here, bring it to ground level. And I think this would be a good opportunity for an underground train. And that appears to be staying fairly nice and level. So now we're going to cut across. Try to stay straight here, and I think let's go ahead and clear this stuff out. Should be the only thing that I need to unpause for. Other than that, we can clear out all this stuff that we really don't need. It's causing a ton of pollution, which we really do not want in this city. Alright. So now that we got that under control, let's come up. We're gonna figure out, so this is gonna be about the point right here where it's gonna need to connect in. So now let's check out our grading and figure out where we need to come in at. And I think if I'm looking at this correctly, we can get rid of you, we can get rid of you. Come straight across. And then if we go... So it will actually show us. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that should be the point that we're aiming for, I think. Yes. That's the point we're aiming for. And now we want to see if we can get a road guideline. I don't think we can. Really doesn't matter because this is underground. No one can see it anyways. It's a great mentality to have. Yeah, that'll work. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a second train line that goes from Riverside to Pearl Square to Old Market Street and back. So now we have 2 train lines, and I think that should be good enough to keep our public transit going. And I guess we can actually come in and hook this up to the highway now. Back the way we did have it. But we'll allow a little bit more of a curve to the road. I think that'll be nice. So one thing I've seen on some other channels is this little glitch that happens, allegedly. Do that. It's not... But apparently what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to make this exit ramp be a little bit smoother. It's not working for me in this scenario. That's totally fine. I'm not that worried about it. Because in the end, it's all gonna be okay. We'll all be okay. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be a-okay. So that will allow us to receive goods throughout the city. It's not going to be through our preferred method of transport of goods, but I think it'll be fine. We can rework this cargo transit, I think, at a later date. But let's also consider the fact that we are going to be extending these train lines out. And I think what we can do is we're going to come across and hook in so that we're only having to worry about 2 train lines. I'm thinking that will work out. So what we're going to end up doing, and I'm going to go ahead and buy this tile. We're going to want to have a train stop. I'm thinking over here where the amusement park is going to be. We're going to want to have one over here where our industrial harbor is going to be. And then we're going to want to have one here, and we can have this back line be our connection into the city. That's just what I'm thinking. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So let's go ahead and come in, and we are going to make our grid a little bit more reasonable. Go ahead and clear out some of this stuff, so we don't have so many abandoned buildings. It gets kind of annoying to look at sometimes, I think. Let's come just straight across. And of course you want to be difficult. Derpy derp derp derp. Ooh, do I want to put a key wall there? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. About maybe putting a key wall here. Because sometimes I do actually like to see this rock texture. I mean, I don't think it's that horrible. At least not all the time. I wonder, is that going to be enough? It might be enough. We'll see. So what I'm thinking about right now is we need to set up transit routes within certain areas to ensure that we are prioritizing the public transit rather than car traffic. And also, I think, want to come here with this. Just while I'm thinking about things that I was thinking about 30 minutes ago. Let's come off of angles, or come to just angle snap. That's just going to be finicky. And we can come in with some of our pedestrian area plazas. How about a small fountain plaza? Ooh, I know what's missing. Where is it? Here it is. Compact bus station. And now we can also come in. Ha ha ha. Nice try. So we come here with just a vanilla path because that's apparently all that we're allowed to use around these. How am I just now figuring out that that's... Alright. So apparently you can place vanilla paths around these things, just not park life paths. Which is weird, but okay, whatever. We can probably just come around here with... No, no more road guidelines. We're done with you for today. We can just come around here with these fences, I think. Because we're not going to have any zoning right here. It's just not really feasible in those squares, I don't think. So we're going to have a compact bus station here. And while I'm thinking about it, we also probably are going to want to have our bus depot, in addition to our sightseeing bus depot, rebuilt. Those are things that we definitely didn't want to lose, and now we're not going to lose those services, hopefully. That should be enough for that. Let's also fence off our train tracks. We're going to do that on both sides. I think this old Market Street station really, it adds a different vibe than all of this super modern Star Wars sci-fi buildings, which we are going to get rid of. So we're going to take a small break, and we will be right back as soon as I have cleared all of this stuff out. Alright, so we've cleared out pretty much all of this area so that we can think a little bit harder about how we are going to utilize it. I also went ahead and hooked in this to the external train line. So one thing we need to think about right now is power, and I went ahead and created a little water service station, and I think it would be in our best interest. We don't have nuclear available quite yet. And as you can see, we have had a major drop-off in population from getting rid of all of that residential zoning, which I'm fine with. It's not a huge deal to me right now. So let's come in, and we're going to add in a couple of geothermal plants. Just because I guess that's just going to be my go-to. It does it for me. It's a clean energy source. It produces a lot of energy. And that's about all it's going to take to keep me pleased with our energy sources. I wonder, can I place 2 more? No, I cannot. And I cannot fit solar over here either. That's unfortunate. How close is it, I wonder? Yeah, I don't think that's particularly close. I mean, even if we just... Oh, it's only off by 1 tile? That's an easy fix. We'll just use a small road. Really? Really? It's so close. Oh well. We just place some on this side and just decorate this. That'll be fine. I'm not going to whine about that too much. Let's go ahead and flatten this out a little bit too. And we, of course, are going to have to start grading this quite a bit because it's going to go up the mountain pretty significantly. So we can come behind these, I think. Let's go with a gravel path. Just to really help decorate the asset. And we'll see about coming in with palm trees later on. That's just going to be dependent upon what these eco-advanced water treatment plants are doing in terms of pollution. So if we unpause this, we should have power restored, and we do. And we also have our 2 train lines going as well. with the commuter trains, we are getting 400 passengers per vehicle, which is nice. Let's come here and flatten this out a bit. Ooh, I hope we have enough room for that. I don't think I thought about that. Let's see if we have enough room to fit this road. It's that pesky little gradient. Let's push you up a little bit further. Now let's see if it wants to work with us. Yes, it's now nice and flat. So I'm thinking this district right here, the Foggy District, can be our fine arts district. And we'll still use the wall-to-wall specialization, but first let's get rid of this bank. I don't want it right there. So one of my absolute favorite assets, and we'll have to destroy the grid a little bit, and that's totally fine. One of my favorite assets is the academic library, and I want to centralize this right here. I think that will work beautifully. And we can come around it with just some standard vanilla paths. And I'm thinking out front, we're going to continue these vanilla paths. Let's extend it here. What I want to do is we're going to come out by 4 here. Then we're going to come out by 2. I think that should give us a place to centralize this. Let's see. Yes, it does. It does give us a nice place to centralize. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to back this up a little bit. Now that we know that road guideline will work in our favor. So let's come out only by 2. Knowing where this road guideline is going to be. Nope, we're gonna go by 3. Well, actually, no, we can just do it that way. Yeah. I think those of you who follow Imperator know exactly what we're about to do with this. So what I'm gonna do, it's gonna come around here, just like that. What I want to do is I'm gonna come to our content creator pack trees, and we're gonna line this with the California King palms on either side. And now we're gonna go to our small trees within this pack. We are going to line these paths with hedges. Gonna try to keep this as straight as we can. It may not be perfect, and that's totally fine. It's not the end of the world. But we want to really closely follow the path with these small hedges. And then we're going to come behind with our Pacific rhododendrons, just behind them. And we're going to continue this all the way around, just to give this a nice open plaza space. Let's fill this in. You know, any spot where we see we kind of missed with the hedge, I'm gonna kind of come in and fill that in. Whoops. And of course, we're going to also use our forestry fence. Let's come to angle snap. I don't know how far I'm going to have to come out. Yeah, I'm going to have to come out pretty far with that. Which, that's not the end of the world. But let's try to come across here the best we can. Distance too short. That distance is too short? Oh, but that one's not. Okay, just checking. So I'm thinking what we did wrong here is, you know, a similar thing that we did wrong in Oakhaven, where we're focusing more on where those bushes are than where we need to be placing the fence. And if we lose some of the bushes, we lose some of the bushes. It's not the end of the world. Let's see how close we can get. It's gonna be how close we can get there. Alright, so what I'm going to do is we're going to delete that fence right there. And I think if we come around like this, try to hug these bushes as best as we can, I think we can potentially get to where this is going to line up in the exact spot that we want it to. Which, of course, it wants to be difficult. It always wants to be difficult. This is City Skylines. Why would it not be difficult? I think that's just going to be where we do it. So let's try to get this wherever we can get it. That's going to be too far. The problem here is that I guess we just didn't go close enough to where those bushes are. That actually, I think that should do it. That may actually do it. Arg! It won't. It won't. You know, I don't think that looks too horrible. Let's just come in and add these flowers back in. We still have that nice open green space that is going to be really, really beautiful with this. Do we need to fix you up? Goodbye, full cemetery. Hello, empty cemetery. Boom. Let's see what other fine arts type things we can find. I think we're going to move this airline headquarters just temporarily. Let's just throw it over here. That should be fine. Because I think that space can probably be used for something a little bit more artistic. So what about our modern art museum? I think we can easily fit that in right here. Theater of Wonders. It's going to be a touch too big for that space. Ooh, the Opera House. Let's get that one actually a little bit closer. Oh, but it'll be fine. So we'll have the Opera House be over here by our campus, our liberal arts campus. I think that will fit in beautifully. I don't really like the Grand Library. It's not really my favorite asset, to be honest with you. I think that's all of our artistic type buildings that we can throw in. These are just all going to be skyscrapers to the end of this, yes. Oh, actually no, there's some Korean. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what I want to do with these Korean assets. But for now, what we can do is we can come in acknowledging that these are our wall-to-wall specialization. And we're going to surround this with those type of buildings, so that we have those really artistic looking buildings coming in over here. And I'm thinking in this space, we can probably fit in a metro station. But do we want it to be parallel or do we want it to be perpendicular? I'm thinking here, judging based off what we've got already, it would probably be best if we did it with the parallel. Which would actually mean we can just stick it right here next to our academic library and bring it up a little bit closer. And as you can see, this is really giving this area some character. It really is. Alright, so Anchor Hills is now going to be our Skyline. We can come back and name that later. But it's going to be our main hub for the financial buildings. Ooh, this museum actually, I think, could really fit well in this spot. Yes, that's what we want. Let's check on this district because I don't want these really tall, ugly, high-density buildings to be coming in right here. Sweet. So with this central business district, we're going to focus a lot more on the Skyline. So we don't need you. High capacity elementary school can come this way. I'm thinking it can probably go right there. That'll be nice and pretty. And all of these side streets are going to be not particularly useful for what we're going for. Let's also go ahead and clear out these paths and these trees. And I think we'll leave these flower plazas right here because, you know, there's potential that we could actually make use of them, I think. That's all going to be dependent upon our choice of assets. So this is also going to be, I think, a real destination hub. And we're going to need to have some pretty significant metro access. But we're not going to want it right here. That's a little bit too close. Jeez. 855 people serviced at that, and it's only going to go higher, which is absolutely terrifying. So let's come in to our unique buildings. And actually, before we do that, there are a couple things we need to do. First off, we need to take off all of these policies that we have that are costing us money. And I think these ones with the sports will be fine. I think those policies are going to be okay. We do actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we do need to have garbage service. And I'm thinking where we're going to place it is over here. Fine place to have it, by the way. Over here, where our food is being produced. We just won't tell anyone. That'll be our little secret. But we really need to have our garbage collection not be so terrible. So we'll see what that does. Our traffic flow still is not too miserably low. Which is kind of surprising, considering that everyone is funneling onto this one street, but... you know, it is what it is. And I think these buildings are... they're just naturally going to keep complaining, and I'm going to keep not listening. Alright, so let's come over to... because we're going to need a lot of money. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop the funding for industry. Come in, buy this massive dip. Oh, there was a point in time that I could afford that, and now we're going to have that. Now we're going to raise that to 150% and gain $3 million. Now we're going to do it again, because we're going to need a lot of money for this project that we're about to take on. Come back to our budget, 150%. Gain $3 million more dollars. Now have a reasonable budget. And I think we can also pull off the education boost. I think that will be helpful to us while we're building all this stuff out. So the first building I want to place is from the Japan Content Creator Pack. I'm going to look at using the Station Department Store, along with the Rail Yard Shopping Center. I think this building will probably serve us better right here. No. Will it? Let's get rid of this. I feel like that's going to be a lot of today, is amending this grid to fit exactly what I want in terms of our skyline. So we can come back behind there and we will have room for a building here. How about the local registrar office somewhere maybe? Or a district office building. That one could work. Let's get away from that, so that we don't accidentally take out one of these buildings. We can come behind it with a path on either side. Got a lot of people sick, I'm guessing, from not having enough garbage pickup. Yep. We're just going to continue having that problem, it's fine. It'll all fix itself. Hey, Hey, we only went down to 3 stars on our university. You know, it could have been worse. It absolutely could have been worse. So, in the central business district, what I want to do is we're going to come, and I think this will be a good place to have some of our banks, as well as our modern city center buildings. And those will generate some nice looking assets around here, I think. Let's see what skyscrapers we like. How about the large bank building? That can be our central skyscraper. And we'll place it right here by Central Park. I think that will be the best place to place that. Let's see what other assets we have. We have the International Trade Building, which will go nicely right there. Our stock exchange probably work well there. What about MLM Center? And, you know, we're still thinking about how this looks from all different angles. And I don't like how that's blocking the International Trade Building. So what we'll do is we'll just move the International Trade Building, I'm thinking right here. I don't really like the MLM Center anyways. But you know what I do like? I really like this tower. I really, really like it. So what if we placed that right there? Bring our office skyscraper. We can think a little bit longer about where to move that. The Majesty, I think, should be right here along the park, which it already was, but we're just kind of changing where it is within this context. Or Underground Garden Plaza. Yeah, we may leave that right where it is. Not sure where we're going to move that. The High Interest Tower. It's a classic building. So we want to make sure we're not, like, completely destroying what this skyline looked like. Let's come down here to these skyscrapers, content creator pack. What if we add in the Six Rivers Center? It's not going to centralize quite as nicely as I hoped, but we can get rid of that and place it in. It's a fair bit taller than our large bank building. Relocate Marshalltown, I think, to there. I think that would be nice. We also want to have some skyscrapers over there in that background too. So let's not forget about that. Marshalltown, yeah, I like that where it is. We'll keep the office skyscraper over there too. Let's see what else we have. The Marble Center. See how that looks. Okay. I'm alright with that. Jubilee Motors building. So we do want to make sure that we are getting some crawl down in height, and I think that's what we're missing at the moment. Because we have all of our giant skyscrapers, we just need to get some of our less giant skyscrapers in. So let's come to our unique buildings. Let's see what else we maybe have not placed. I don't think we're missing any of the main large buildings, which is the unfortunate part of this. Alright, let's take this over to here. These are going to be such fractured grids, which is fine. It's not a big deal. And we can come there with our Plaza Metro Station. I wonder, can we fit the compact bus station here? We can. Actually, we could fit 2 of them. So that could be a good idea. Right there. You know what we are missing is... First off, some residential zoning. Let's have you be European. And we're not going to be too concerned about what exactly we're zoning in. We're just, trying to make sure that we're increasing the population to meet demand so that we can actually build in the skyline. So we're going to work on getting our population up, and as soon as we get it up to a point where we can actually start building this, we will be right back. Alright, so we've gotten some stuff to grow back in, and I think we're starting to develop a much more realistic looking skyline. And as we gain more office demand, we will have more of these banks come in. And I think no, I think I'm gonna leave this as is. And what we'll do is, I think right here we'll come along with these 3 paths. Have one of them be amusement park, and another one will be city park, lined with palm trees. And we will do that on this other side as well. We'll have a amusement park on the outside and our palm trees on the inside. And our new Metro Plaza station is slowly starting to gain some more passengers. And I think we've also gotten a couple of inner-city trains to show up here at the old Market Street, which you can see has a ton of traffic. So the last thing I want to do before we jump into some detailing and further killing off these citizens. So we want to be thoughtful about our bus routes. So let's figure out what is and what isn't. So if it says Colonial Village, we're going to keep it. If it doesn't, we're going to get rid of it. And then the Colonial Village red line we will get rid of. Alright. So now let's start thinking about our bus services around here. So we're going to want to have a bus line that comes down this way. And I'm thinking what we'll probably do is we'll start it here by the Colonial Village. Have a stop by the metro station. We'll have a stop here. We'll come into our compact bus station. Have a stop there and connect it. So that'll be one of our bus routes. We're going to want one for our Fine Arts District. And come around on that side. Here, there, and hook in. I think that could be a good bus line. Let's have a university bus line. And we want the university bus line to focus around some of these main assets, like the baseball stadium, the football stadium, probably have it come loop around by the School of Economics, come into the bus station over here by these dorms, and hook in. That can be our campus line. We're going to want to have one over here in our central business district. Which also has some compact bus stations in it. Let's be thoughtful about where we're... Yeah, we're not being very thoughtful right now about how we're placing this. So let's start it here at the bus station. I think that would be a spot. Over here at this bus station would be a good spot. We're just kind of following around our business district. I think that can probably work, and we'll continue to add more bus lines, I think, in later episodes as we start to focus more on our public transit. But I think that will be it for today, and we will jump into some detailing, and we will be right back. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe below. I think this is a much more realistic looking skyline, and we will continue to work on building it out in addition to providing better access to public transit for our citizens. We will also, in future episodes, continue to expand this out and expand the highway out as well. And I'm thinking the highway is probably going to cut right here across the bay, where we're going to have our cargo harbor. And then that will complete the loop, which will connect over here into the main highway. That's it for today. Enjoy a brief city tour.